Hello again, welcome back to one more video of this channel. My idea here is to update the generator that I've been developing. I have an old video here, it's so outdated, I need to bring something new to the channel. But the idea is actually, first of all, practice my English because I really need it. And second of all, because when we try to explain technical things, and things that we are doing, that we are testing ourselves, it's kind of a proof that we are actually going somewhere, that we are actually in control of what we are, you got it, right? You understood the idea here. And I hope it will help you with Unreal Engine development because it's an amazing tool and also hugely complex, right? So the idea here is to show the upgrade version of my generator here. Let me show you the generator working, and then we go step by step of what I'm doing. It's not a complete system yet, so I may call this dev diary, devlog, I don't know. I don't have a name for it yet. So it's not a complete system, but it's way more advanced than the last one that I've brought here, and it has some nice things going on. So let's see. So here we are. This is Nomad, a side project that I'm doing with Benito, a friend of mine, and yeah, it's a spaceship game. We are kind of pushing to a immersive sim or something. There's a lot of things to show already, but let's focus on the generator for this video. So I'm getting close to the machine room here, where we have a beautiful generator in there, and we can hear it. The occlusion is working, although it may require some tuning, but okay, it's working, it's penny. Nice. So it's a diegetic sound, right? And when I get close to it, if I press the key E, I then turn the hibernation mode on, which saves energy because we need to save energy on this ship. And if I go back here and press E again, it will return the generator to the default operation mode, which is without saving energy, right? But we want this like this. Saving energy so we can be safe that we will have energy for the upcoming days, right? Yeah, so let's see how this is being handled in Unreal. So first of all, I want to show quickly the sound cues. Both are sound cues. We have two sound cues, one for the generator sound and the other one for the hibernation sound. The huge difference here compared to my last project, the other one I was using Wise, this one I'm using Unreal only, and I've been using sound cues and cutting every detail of sound, every piece of the sound cue, the lowest possible. It's helping me save a lot of space. So it's just 1 megabyte, this whole system weighs only 1 megabyte without going through the Unreal compression yet. I don't know how much it is after the compression of Unreal. So it's way more light than the last version I was using. So let's see. I will play the cue. So that's what we have. We have 4 layers of sound here. The first one has a modulator, which brings the pitch a bit down. And I'm using random here to address the time which this sound repeats. I may go back to this and try to improve it. Maybe it's working the way it is, so I don't know. These two are loops. So they are just loops, they keep going. And this one is the sound, I don't know, it gives us a notification that things are working, right? Yeah, so this is the generator sound. And then I made some modifications here based on the same system using the same assets for the hibernation mode. So I'm using modulators to push some of the sounds, the pitch of some of the sounds higher. I'm using a bigger delay time here on this last one because I wanted the sounds to be more distance in time for this particular asset. And using the mixer, I brought the volume down so we have that feeling that we are saving energy, we are consuming less energy, right? So it's like this. Pretty interesting, right? Yeah, these are the sound cues. Now let's take a look at the blueprint here, which I need to update. So deleting this thing here. Okay, so when the event plays, when we start the game, it will bring the hibernation sound to the lowest volume possible. I'm using 0.001. As you can see here, first on the left, we have some components on the generator, our generator here, right? We have some components. We have a generator sound, we have a hibernation sound, we have the generator button, the hibernation button. The hibernation button turns to green, will turn to green when we press the button. This one I'm not using it. Okay, this is for if I want the generator sound to don't bleed to the next room, I will use it, but for now I'm not using it. However, it's here because it's a system that I'm using for another stuff as well. And we have the trigger box, which is when the character enters here, he will be available to turn the generator, the hibernation I mean, on or off. But only when he is inside this box. Once he is outside, he won't be able to do it. So let's see how it's being handled here. Okay, so yeah, the hibernation sound will play together with the generator sound, right? So I brought the volume to 0.001, so we only hear the generator sound. So let's go step by step on this system here. It's a bit bigger, but it's not that complex, I hope. Okay, so first thing, when the actor overlap the trigger box, when the actor overlaps the trigger box, which actor? The third person character. So I need to cast to our third person character. Actually, it's third person character here because Benito did something really interesting in this game. He's using the third person template and he changed the camera only for us to be able to have a body. So it's a first person, but it's on the system being called as third person character. Actually, if you press the letter V, you can change to third person. So yeah, it's the main character, okay? So it's being cast to it. Only when the main character crosses the trigger box, we will actually have the system working. If another actor crosses it, it's not gonna work. So the next thing that happens is that it enables an input. So when the character overlaps the box, it will enable input. And it will open a gate. So once the character is inside the gate, if you press the letter E, this will happen. Once the character is inside the box, once the gate is opened. As soon as the character leaves the box, leaves the trigger box, it will close the gate and the input and the use of the key E to this system won't be available anymore. Okay, so the gate's really nice to use it. However, when we actually have the gate open, what will happen? If I press once, it will do A. If I press it again, it will do B. If I press it again, it will do A and then B. That's the flip-flop, right? So, okay, so when I press for the first time, it will do A. What is A? Is a sequence which turns the hibernation on. So it will make the button of the button called hibernation button, which is a component for this blueprint, it will turn to green. Okay, this is the first thing that the sequence will do. The second thing that the sequence will do is actually set the volume of the generator sound to, let's take a look here. Generator sound. It will turn the volume of the generator sound over the course of 2 seconds to 0.001. So it will take 2 seconds. Oh, sorry. It will it will take 2 seconds for the sound kind of fade, but it's not fade because I'm not stopping the sound. I'm just mixing the volume, right? So I'm using a timeline for this. So it will, when I press first time, the sequence will do 0, okay, button is green, and 1, play the timeline from the start. So the volume will be brought to 0.001 in 2 seconds, right? Which sound? The generator sound. And it will do the number 2, which is again another timeline, but it's the opposite. This one will turn the hibernation sound up from 0.001 to 1 in 2 seconds. So it's a mix. I will bring the volume down, I will bring the volume up, a crossfade in 2 seconds, right? And when I press it again, what will do? First of all, it will set the button to red. And second, it will play both timelines in reverse. So if this one is to bring the volume down, it will bring the volume up. If this one is to bring the volume up, it will bring the volume down. So I will have the generator sound back and the hibernation sound will go out. We'll return to the previous state, right? Where we were hearing the loudest sound. So that's it. That's basically the system. I can improve it in some ways, but I'll leave it like this for now. And if I improve it, I can return with more videos, I don't know. But one thing that I wanted to show as well is which is really important when we are actually working with this type of sounds, which is how I'm, wait just a second. Okay, how I'm dealing with the occlusion and attenuation, right? So let's see how I'm doing here. So I'm overriding attenuation. For the moment, that's what I want to do, because that's a unique object in the game. It's not an object that I will be repeating too much. So for now, I don't have a class yet. I don't have effects yet. You know, the mix is not even close to being done, and I'm not using attenuation. I forgot how I can name it when you use one attenuation for a lot of objects, right? So it's all here. So it's a linear function, right? That's the way how the sound goes up and down in volume. It's using the sphere attenuation shape, and then this is trial and error. The inner radius, the fall-off distance, you come here, you choose a value, and then you go and do a test to see if it's sounding nice. As you can see, the inner radius bleeds a bit here. It will bleed a bit here as well, and it will bleed to the character main room a bit if he puts his ear like here in the in the wall. He will listen to the inner radius. What's the inner radius? It's the volume. It's the sound full volume, like on its prime, right? And we have the fall off distance, which is bigger, goes almost entirely to the room of the player here, gets the corridor as well, and goes way into the depository room, deposit room. I forgot the name we're giving to this one. So trial and error. No other thing can be said about this. However, it's not only attenuation that's working here. I'm actually using occlusion as well. So occlusion from using visibility, which means that when I see the generator, I will hear the sound. And the low pass frequency, it's also trial and error here, because sometimes it sounds a bit too much, sometimes it sounds a bit too nothing. So it's like you need to low pass frequency, right? So you will occlude the high frequencies and let the low frequencies go. And we have as well, this is really important, how much you want the volume to be attenuated. So again, trial and error, so 0.3 is working here for me. And the occlusion interpolation time, which is hugely important because it's set to 0.1, so it's too much abrupt. So, you know, again, one more time, trial and error, but 1 is working fine here. And that's it. I will still work with the reverb, maybe to add one more layer to the complexity of the sound. I don't know. I still need to plan how I want this to be upgraded. The idea was actually to make it work, first of all, right? So again, let's take one more look here. Nice. Okay, that's it. Sometimes I think this is way too much abrupt, you know? I'm here and I'm barely listening, and then the volume just comes. So I may need to do some work here to make this feel more interesting. But the way it is, it's already working in a pretty interesting way. And if I want to make the sound not bleed too much to the other rooms, I can improve the system as well using another trigger box mixing, so we don't get too much, right? And one thing that I forgot to mention is that when you get really close to the generator, it will stop panning, or it will reduce the panning, which is another option that we have here in Unreal as well, which is really interesting, because if you are too much close and it gets panning aggressively, it will break the immersion, right? So you can see that here we can feel the panning way more than when we are close. And just for demonstration, yeah, our character is a third-person character as well, right? Nice. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.